Hello there children, it's Mr. Conway here. Now today I'm going to be reading you one of my favourite stories. This story is called Greta and the Giants. And this was inspired by Greta Thunberg and in her stand to save the world. This story is written by Zoe Tucker and Zoe Persico. So I'm just going to read the blurb on the back of this story. Greta lives in a beautiful forest threatened by giants. When the giants first come to the forest, they chop down trees to make homes. Then they chopped down more trees and made even bigger homes. The houses grew into towns and the towns grew into cities until now there was hardly any forest left. Luckily, Greta has an idea. So this is a story with a very powerful message. I hope you enjoy it, everybody. Here we go. Greta and the Giants. There was once a girl who lived in the heart of a beautiful forest. Her name was Greta. One morning, things weren't quite as they should be. Greta stepped out into her garden, and there, huddled together in the shadows of the trees, were all the animals of the forest. A soft, silvery brown wolf stepped forward with his tail to the ground. "Please help us," he whispered. "The forest is broken and we don't know where to go. The giants are ruining our home." The giants had always been there, for as long as Greta could remember, but now they were worse than ever. They were huge, lumbering oafs, and they were always busy. They chopped down trees to build homes. Then they chopped down more trees and built bigger homes. The houses grew into towns, and the towns grew into cities. They built factories and shops and cars and planes. They worked all day and all night, until eventually there was hardly any forest left at all. But the greedy giants had forgotten how wonderful the forest was. They didn't see all the little birds and bugs and butterflies and bears that trembled in the shadows, and no one told them to stop, because everyone was too scared of them. Everyone except Greta. "Will you help us?" asked the wolf. Greta looked around her. The animals looked tired and sad. She had to help them. But how? Then Greta had an idea. The next morning, Greta went to the middle of the forest and waited for the giants to come. She stood alone, holding a big sign. The sign said, "Stop." So she waited. And waited. On the first day, the giants didn't see her and lumbered on by. And on the second and third too. But on the fourth day, something strange happened. A little boy who had been watching Greta had made a sign and came and sat down next to her. He didn't say much, but Greta knew he felt just like she did. And his sign says, "Listen." Some more people and animals saw what they were doing and joined in too. "Save our forest. Help. We love our forest. Stop. Listen. Action now." Before long, a huge crowd filled the forest, stretching out to the city and the roads beyond. They stood together and waited. The crowd was so huge that the giants were stopped in their tracks. "Please stop," Greta cried. "Your greedy behaviour is spoiling our home. You've broken the trees and trampled the flowers, and now the bees and birds have flown away. These animals are homeless and our forest is dying." After Greta had spoken, everyone was silent. But then everyone in the crowd began to shout, "The smoke from your fire is choking the air. You can help plant some new plants. And please stop cutting down the trees and mend my home. We need to take care of our forest and live together. Will you please help?" they all said. The giants shuffled, fidgeted, and stomped their feet on the ground. They were embarrassed and a little bit sad. You see, the giants were so busy building that they didn't see what they were doing to the forest or the animals or the people who lived there. The giants felt terrible. "We're sorry," they said, and they promised to try harder. So from that day on, the greedy giants weren't so greedy. They slowed down and learned to sit quietly. They stopped working all the time and instead took up new hobbies. They stopped chopping down trees and learned all about gardening and living in the forest. They cooked, repaired, tidied and shared, and before long, the forest became more beautiful than they could ever imagine. What a beautiful last image to end our story on. So there we go, everybody. That was Greta and the Giants by Zoe Tucker and Zoe Persico. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again next time, everyone. Goodbye.